Hi there, I'm Andre from Peak Motorcycles and I'm here at Motorcycle Live in the UK in 2024 and I'm here at the Indian motorcycle stand. Now Indian didn't exhibit at EICMA, so this is just a chance to give you a quick look around their stand and see a couple of things that are new. Now if you've seen any of my other content you know that cruisers aren't my strong point. However, I have a bit of a soft spot for Indians, so yeah, I'll show you what they've got. So this is the all-new Indian 101 Scout. I actually really like that. I mean, I'm not really one for cruisers, but I think the job that Indian have done here is pretty special. So that's got that 1250cc V-twin. Now I know that cruisers are not known for their lightweight or that often their high power, but what we have here is actually a 1250cc V-twin that makes 111 horsepower in a bike that weighs 240 kilos. And I know you're thinking that maybe that's not that much power for that much weight, but that's not far off what something like, I don't know, 1200 GS was making, and if you've ridden one of those and opened the throttle, you know they certainly go. So I would certainly expect this bike to go. I'll just give you a bit of a look. So many little styling things which I think are kind of cool. So the back end, as you can see, we've got these indicators on the back, that sort of cut off mudguard. The number plate hanger is off to the side. There's that big fat exhaust, not really a thing of beauty, but I'm sure there's options there. Proper heat shield all the way over it, and like all the way over it, so you're unlikely to burn your trousers. It's got fully adjustable rear suspension with an easy to reach adjuster on the top. Beautifully stitched seat. I just love that candy apple paint job coming up and over the tank. And then it's got that sort of low slung TFT dash below the Indian logo on the handlebar clamp. So coming around the side, because those bars are actually pretty high compared to the rest of the bike, it's got those quite well designed bar end mirrors. I've seen some bar end mirrors that quite often look like an afterthought, but those look perfectly suited to the bike. If I can give you a look in at the side, you just see the quality of that handlebar clamp, and that's an odd thing to pick out. But that really has been quite nicely engineered. And then you've got fully adjustable suspension, upside down forks at the front. And just looking at that front end geometry, that's actually quite steep. I'd be interested to know exactly how that turns in. Coming around the front, under there you can see the radiator. It's just a necessity that's on there. And yeah, the wheels themselves, can I pick that out? They've got that sort of really nicely sort of milled finish just on the edge of them, and even just little features like the sideways mounted valve stem. Of course, double Brembo brakes at the front. If I come around the front, you can see there's actually got that little cowl, little windscreen, LED headlamp in the middle. That same engine is also available in other things like the Scout Classic. You've got with that sort of much longer front mudguard, but otherwise, yeah, pretty similar, higher bars. And it's actually nice to see that even though they've shifted to LED indicators, they've still got the orange lenses on them to make them look a little bit more classic. It's also available as a bobber. We also have a Sport Scout. I mean, that's just got absolutely everything in black on it. Also looks pretty cool. And this is the Super Scout. So it's got the bigger windscreen, it's got the higher bars, it's got an awful lot of chrome on it. And then it's got this luggage, which actually looks really well just fitted to the back of the bike, just fits it really well. And of course it has a pillion seat, which not all of them do, although I'm sure it could be fitted to any of them. We also have a couple of custom builds. So here we have a Scout Bobber Limited, which has a lot of extras on it. Now altogether this bike actually retails for £24,000, which is no small amount. I'll give you a quick look at the options that are on there so I don't have to talk through them all. But to give you a quick look, it's got that carbon fibre finish on the side, it's got that very sort of stubby single seat, it's got that Olin suspension on the back, and a lot of music playing by it. But yeah, I think that's actually a pretty good looking motorcycle. Right then, now we're on to the FTRs. Now this is actually the Indian that I like the most. When I say I had a bit of a soft spot, I test rode an FTR1200 a couple of years ago, and not really being one for cruisers, I didn't know if it was going to be my sort of thing. And I was wrong, I absolutely loved it. To me it was very much what owning a motorcycle and riding a motorcycle is all about, and exactly how it should feel. So they've got the FTR Sport here in the grey and the blue, and here we have a 2021 limited edition. There's a few more things I can just show you on here. And even though this one just looks like it's got a blue fuel tank, you can see that's actually, see the carbon fibre weave through the blue lacquer. The FTR branded seat, and then a carbon fibre rear cowl. Stepping back a bit, you can also see that this one has got the Krapovich exhaust pipe on there, coming down all the way along the side. It's got that little belly pan underneath, and then on the front and back end it's got Olin suspension. And then we have a couple more of the FTR1200s. I do think they look great in that red, yellow and black livery. This one is marked up as a Super Hooligan. This one is a bit more standard, but I think it still looks pretty special. I'm sure you'll agree. And the last one we have is in the red and the white. And again, I mean, that's the plainest one they do. But I just think they look great. I mean, if you ever got any doubts about this, I can recommend coming to a show or going to your dealer and actually just sitting on one. And maybe you'll see what I mean. Then we have the Chiefs. So first up, what we're looking at here is the Sport Chief, 116 cubic inch. It's got that big V-twin underneath it. Not a lot else, and the bike just looks muscly, you know. I mean, it's just big. It's got that quite stubby front end, but still looks pretty cool. They also have a Super Chief Limited that's got the big windscreen, pillion seat, including a nice little handle for the pillion to grab onto in case you open the throttle too much. And some luggage that looks pretty good on the bike. We then have a Chief Dark Horse, which has got the single seat, and again, everything that can be black is black. Nice to see the mix of some of the matte black paintwork, but then also that gloss paintwork on all the gloss coating on the engine casing. And the last of the Chiefs to look at is this Bobber Dark Horse, which, yeah, kind of similar to the other one, but just in their lighter grey paint job, but still with all the dark stuff lower down. Here we have the Chieftain Dark Horse, which is just a big tourer, really. I mean, this one's set up like a bagger. You can see those rear pillion pegs are kind of set back a bit. It's just bigger, a bit more comfortable than the others. But when I was talking about the all-new Scout at the beginning, about how light and powerful it was, for comparison, with its frankly enormous 1890cc V-twin just stuck in there, makes 92 horsepower and weighs a total of 373 kilograms. I mean, it does have a peak torque of 171 newton meters, which is, you know, pretty good for a bike. You could probably tow a caravan, maybe even tow a train with that. But you don't have to tow trains or caravans that often. And to be honest, having a bike that weighs 373 kilos, it's going to need it. Right then, we're now on to the bigger tourers. Here we have the Roadmaster, which is, it's big. I mean, I do love that paint job. It's definitely not something that you're going to be like, you know, throwing around, but to look inside, I mean, it's just even looks like almost like classic car levels of details in there. You know, it's got that high old dash, it's got the analog clocks, which I think is still quite a nice look, even in this day and age. It's got the big screen in the middle, just coming down to see the seats that we have here, and these seats are both heated and cooled, which is pretty nice. You know, lots of luxury there for a passenger. Not really my sort of thing, but I do have a respect for them. And then the last two, here we have the Indian Pursuit Dark Horse. Again, very similar in terms of the setup on it. It's just a big old cruiser. I say just a big old cruiser. I mean, it's 30,000 pounds that I'm sure will be extremely comfortable for crossing continents, as long as there aren't too many tight bends. Actually, that's a bit harsh. I'm sure it goes around bends just fine, just not as easy as a lightweight flickable bike. And the last one for the stand is this Springfield Dark Horse, done in this quite nice matte green finish. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot simpler than some of the others that have a lot of the bodywork. Still got the boxes on the back for the bobber, but yeah, for something that's just that bit simpler, I actually quite like the look of that. No fancy TFT dash on this one, just a regular clock and a fuel gauge, 12-volt socket, and sometimes simple is just enough. So there you go, that is my video from the Indian stand here at Motorcycle Live in Birmingham in 2024. I hope that was interesting and useful. If it was, maybe I'll see you on some of my other content from here. Thanks for watching.